planners and bullet journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first, I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much, and if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, you guys, it's ready for 2020. Doesn't that sound funny? We've been in the teens for so long. It's just so neat to be in 2020. Lots of things are happening this year, including the Olympics in Japan, and my family and I, or my son, my niece, my mom and I are going to Japan after the Olympics in 2020 at the end of August the 31st, for about 11 days. So I'm really excited about this year coming up, and I'm excited about my new bullet journal. So let me tell you a little bit about the one that I am using. I will be putting it inside of a cover, which will be a traveler's notebook that I make in my Etsy shop that I use for covers for my bullet journals, but not just yet. I'm not sure if I want to put the one that I have right now that I'm using in December on there, if I want to make a new one. But this bullet journal was from my friend Nawasa. It is a Scribbles That Matter bullet journal, a dot grid that she gave me actually a few years ago. And I started using it and then changed to a different bullet journal, but I still wanted to use some of the pages that I had started in there, and I cut them out and put them in the other journal so I wouldn't have to start all over. I didn't think about scanning it at that time, and so it's just been sitting around with those few pages missing, and so I thought I'll use this, and I repaired the pages, so I'll show you that. I put a sticker on here that came from Dollar Tree. You know how you can get those stickers in the craft section? They're really for wall decals, but I always use those on the cover of my bullet journals. And then this is the first thing that I did, so let me make sure I get this positioned well for you guys. So first thing I did is I took some scrap paper from my stash and I just used it. Well, this wasn't a scrap paper, actually. This is a full 12 by 12 sheet that came from a paper pad that I bought, and I just took one of the 12 by 12 sheets and I fit it in here, glued it, used a glue stick, and just trimmed all around it to put it right there in the very front because it was a little damaged from whenever I had taken pages out, and so I wanted it to be pretty, and I think this looks good. It says "Be Different, Babe." I hope it's showing up okay on here, but it's really pretty with like this gold foil, and yeah, "Be Different, Babe." I just wrote 2020 at the top right, and at the bottom left corner I put all of my contact information for Gmail, Etsy, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, so it's all on there. And then here we come to the key. So this was part of the key I had cut out before, and so I just used some framers tape to bind the pages and along the binding in the center. Again, I had to do that on a couple of pages, and then I just went ahead and used the key. So here in the key, I feel like I'm getting a little blurry. Let me straighten that out real quick. Okay, so here in the key, I went ahead and colored in the little doodles that they have on here. So they had a key. I just colored it in with a brown, I think I used a Crayola, what do you call Crayola Super Tip. And so they have this place for the bullet code and color code. I wrote over it with a pink, not sure which kind of pen I used, but I went over it with pen and pink on bullet code and color code, and I went ahead and put some coding in there for the different ways. Now, Ryder Carroll does his bullets and his codes a little bit differently, and I read his book this year for One Book July, but I decided, and I started using some of those the way he did it, but I decided to go back to what I liked, what really worked for me. It just didn't feel natural, and I wasn't doing everything the way that I really wanted to, so I went back into the codes the way that I tend to do it for the most part. I did add the dash for the note like he did, and I left a dot if it's in progress. So normally he does a dot and then he modifies the dot to either be completed, migrated, and all those things. But for me, a dot means it's in progress. An X inside the box is completed, and so forth. You can see there. And then I went ahead and started doing the index here on the right side. And I just colored in the doodle that was there and used an orange pen to write over scribbles and pages there. And so I've got what's done so far for my index. And then here's another page. So there's actually at least one other page normally in this, but like I said, I had cut it out. Might have been two more, but I think I know it was for sure one more. And so I think this was the last spot. Yeah, this was the last spot that I actually had to tape in. And so again, I used framer's tape along the spine where it was torn or cut out, and then I put washi tape on top of that so it'd be nice and pretty and neat. And instead of writing out the full calendar at a glance, I used what I got from Plan to Blossom, which she's an awesome lady. Check her out on Instagram and online in her shop. She makes faith-based stickers and stationery. And so I have a local planner group, and she sent this as part of the package for us, and that group is called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ. We're on Facebook, and we meet in person once a month. I apologize if you hear that alarm in the background. Someone's car alarm is going off. Let's see if we can pause for a minute and maybe it'll stop. Okay, that alarm finally went off or stopped going off. Thank goodness. Okay, so this again was my 2020 year at a glance, and I just kind of did a little bit of legend at the bottom for the things that I circled and so forth for that calendar. And then I felt like I should have a 2021 at a glance as well, because you know, sometimes things come up during the year halfway through and you need to schedule, you know, for something 6 months out, and it's good to just have a calendar that you can look at. So that's what I got right here. And this time I wrote out what each of the holidays were. And yeah, so that's that one. And then we come to my future log. And I did everything this time pretty simply and, I don't know, symmetrically. I just like the way it looks. It's a lot more minimalist and a lot more minimal. And so there's my future log. I only wrote a couple of things so far for 2020. Yeah, and I like this simple blue and white color palette. And I just did that through to December. And then I decided to write out, I haven't done this for a couple of years now, but I used to do it, a word for the year and a verse for the year. So my word is liberty. And the verse is 2 Corinthians 3:16 through 17, which says, "Nevertheless, when one turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." And I just feel like it's such a great verse to remember and reflect on, that we can be misguided. Our minds can tell us things. We can be confused about what the truth is, how we should feel about ourselves, about our hope. We can get down and depressed based on the things that we're seeing and things that we're feeling. And sometimes what we feel is really not the truth. It's not what's going on. But the truth and the freedom and the liberty is when our eyes are on Christ. And so, yeah, I just wanted to use that verse for this year. Okay, and then going on, I set up a personal vision, mission, and slogan, and a business vision, mission, and slogan. So I've written out what it is for me personally, but I want to spend a little more time on what I want to do for business, because I feel like I really need to think through that a little bit more for this coming year. So yeah, vision, mission, slogan, and then I wrote activities that correspond with these statements. Like, if this is my vision, what are the things that I'm doing to be that person? So yeah, and then I have my personal goals and my business goals. So I want to turn that so you can see a little bit better. Oh gosh, I don't know if let me figure out how to turn this so you can see it better. Okay, there we go. I think that'll work. So for my personal goals that I have listed on here, I wrote down my health ones and my spiritual, financial, and family. So I've got the spiritual, financial, and family written out. I just need to check those as they occur. The health ones are making sure I do yoga 3 times a week and my bicycle twice a week. And so I marked for each week to record how many did I do. So if it was supposed to be 3 a week, did I do 2 or 3 or 4? And I'll do that each week. And then at the end of each month, I'll do the percentage that I did of each one to kind of track that. And I left room in case I come up with some other things that I think that I need to track. And I'm sorry that that was a little blurry. I think it's cleared up now. Yeah, looks like it is. Okay. And then here at the bottom or on the other side, I have my, and I'm sorry about my squeaky chair, but I have my social media, not my social media, I have my business goals. And so I broke them up by my social media, and over here, I can turn it again and hope my camera doesn't go blurry. I don't know why it's doing that right now. But, and so then here I have, after the social media, my Patreon and my Etsy. And so those are all marked there. And for social media includes my YouTube, which is on this part as well. And then here I have my routines. I have a personal side and a work side. So my morning, after lunch, and evening for personal. Also mark what occurs on the weekends. And then my work routine, what I do certain days of the week, and then what I do on certain days or certain designated days of the month, like the 3rd Tuesday of the month, the 2nd Thursday of the month, so forth and so on. And then I have, because I am a disabled veteran and there's always a claim continuing until you get to 100%. If you're represented by a Disabled American Veterans Organization, then I have to keep notes and keep track of where everything is and the status. And then I have card maintenance as well. And so for that, I marked it as the date, the vendor, like, you know, the dealership or whomever, what my mileage was, the amount I paid, and what the service or repair were. And I'll also note, you know, when it's due again, depending on what it is. And then we just go straight into January. And so I kept it really simple, but still neat with a little bit of color. So I've got January, and I just drew a snowman with oven mitts for gloves and a carrot for nose and buttons for eyes, stones for a mouth, and buttons for buttons. And I used the stencil to draw the circles, and then, but I drew everything else. And then I drew the mountains here, and this is for my calendar. And then I have what I want to make sure that I get done this month for these different areas of business based on my, you know, goals. And so personal, Etsy, Patreon, YouTube, my different Facebook groups, because I have 2, and then my other social media. And the Facebook groups are called Organized Planner Chic Crew. And there we do frequent giveaways and birthday exchanges and gift exchanges. So you can check that out no matter where you live in the world. And then the local one is the Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ. And we meet in person once a month to have lots of planner fun. And then I have my gratitude spread. And here I just wrote, I'm grateful. And so I just kind of did a lot more abstract set of mountains there. Like on the previous page, I had, what do I have? I had some little almost bottle brush type trees that I just used Tombow dual brush markers to do that. And then on here, I've got the tree again, but I did the mountains. Oops, sorry, shook the table. I did the mountains a lot more abstract. And then we'll come to my first weekly spread. All right, which will start with Monday, December the 30th. And here in this corner, I will have a doodle for the weather, for if it's sunny, cloudy, rainy, etc., the high and low temperatures. And I'll use however much space I need before I put the date for Tuesday, December 31st. And then down here at the bottom, I'll have this week to list my top 5 or 6 things to make sure I prioritize for the week, what the subject is of my Bible study and the verses that I need to read, a grocery list, and just a brain dump of whatever it is that I need to figure out so that I can carry it over for a future week or put it back in my future log, whatever the case is. And then this is how the Dutch door is, so that as I continue, because I'll definitely need more than 2 pages, then I can still see at the bottom all of my headings for everything that is applicable to the entire week, no matter how many pages I need to use. And then that is everything, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. All of my subscribers get an additional discount from my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop. And in my shop, I make vegan traveler's notebooks and accessories for all TNs, vegan or not. I also make bullet journal title page cover art for different months. I make printable stickers and journaling cards. And I also have a free Faux printable that you can use to print out your own Faux that I created that's in my shop. Check out my Facebook groups, as I mentioned before, and then you can follow me on Instagram at Organized Planner Chic, where I post all of my creative ventures and adventures. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!